Welcome to the Empowered Working Mom Revolution podcast, the ultimate destination for all you incredible working moms out there.
I'm Jocelyn Al-Young, a certified life and mental health coach, and my mission is to help busy working moms succeed in their careers without sacrificing their well-being and relationships with their kids and family. This show is your guide to creating transformational change in you as a working mom, where you'll discover your own empowering, actionable tips and tools. We'll dive into inspiring stories and topics such as nurturing your well-being, setting boundaries, managing time effectively, and cultivating self-compassion. So join me here every Wednesday as we revolutionize how you show up as a working mom, which makes remarkable changes in yourself, your family, your career, and the world around you. Remember to hit that subscribe button and let's go on this transformative journey together.
Welcome to the Empowered Working Mom Revolution podcast. Are you ready? Let's dive in.
Hey everyone, a quick announcement before we dive into today's episode. Do you love a good checklist to maintain your organization and alleviate the overwhelm that comes with the multitasking of a working mom's life? Well, then don't miss out on our monthly checklist for working moms. This free, invaluable tool will guide you in staying organized every month of the year. Just go to www.empoweredworkingmomrevolution.com to grab it for yourself. Hey there, working moms. Welcome to another episode here on the Empowered Working Mom Revolution. And today we are diving in, talking about mom guilt. So pull up a seat. Let's have a conversation about mom guilt. And I'm addressing this topic because I've gotten a lot of feedback in regards to mom guilt recently when I shared my newsletter on LinkedIn, where I talked about breaking free from mom guilt and the possibility that it's possible to break free from mom guilt. So today I'm just going to share a little bit about my own experience of experiencing mom guilt and how I've been able to work through to really release myself from really feeling the mom guilt at a point where it just makes me feel like super bad about myself about being a working mom. So if you're probably familiar with the feeling of mom guilt, it can creep up at any moment, right? Especially when you're working. As a working mom, that mom guilt really comes really on strong when you're sometimes having to stay late at work. Or, if you're like me, I'm working from home, my kids come home and I'm still working, that mom guilt definitely creeps in like a sneaky spider. That's my metaphor for it. And I have noticed that it's just not helpful for anyone. It's not helpful for me. It's not helpful for my kids. It's just actually harmful because it really demoralizes myself, and I really start to criticize me for being a working mom. And in that space, in those moments, what we really need as working moms is self-compassion, grace, and understanding. Because at the end of the day, right, whether you are choosing to be a working mom or you have to be a working mom, the guilt doesn't help in any way. Right? Guilt is a feeling and we can work with the guilt. We can't control when the feeling of guilt comes on, but what we can do is how we respond to it. I always talk about responding versus reacting. So in the past, I used to react to my mom guilt, as in how I used to react to my mom guilt is either one, I'd be really criticizing myself really harshly and making myself feel really shameful. Guilt would turn into shame, like Brene Brown says, or I would start doing and go into my perfectionist mode to make everything just right so that I wouldn't feel the mom guilt. Do you feel me on these? Please let me know that I'm not the only one that experiences mom guilt like that. And I realized I was just tearing myself down. And because I was tearing myself down and I wasn't feeling good about myself, it actually negatively impacted how I interacted with my kids and also with my spouse. So mom guilt is not good for anyone in this situation. And over the last couple of years, I have received a lot of support and self-coached myself to figure out how to finally release from the mom guilt. Because honestly, you know where the mom guilt is coming from? It's coming from the societal, cultural, and even gender programming that we have all experienced growing up, whether that's from what we saw within our own family, what we see on TV or on social media, or even your conversations with other fellow working moms. Like that is what's really triggering that mom guilt in us, because there's this fine line of like, oh, I should be doing this. I should be acting this way. I should be like taking these kind of actions and making these kind of decisions. But really, when you take a step back and take a broader perspective, it's asking yourself like, where is that coming from? Why do I feel like I should be shooting all over myself? Right? Or where is that coming from if it's like, if I'm feeling like it's like not fair, right? So it's understanding. When I understood, oh my gosh, my mom guilt is coming from all these shoulds and programming and conditioning that I've experienced. No fault on anyone. It's just those unconscious experiences and things that have really kind of filtered into my subconscious that I was, allowing it to dictate how I felt about myself and how I felt about being a working mom. So when we realize, wow, where is this guilt really coming from? Like really dig deep, then you can start really releasing yourself from letting the mom guilt take over. All right, the next thing that was really helpful for me to really overcome the mom guilt, because it is possible for mom guilt to not be a part of your life, right? Is to really identify the critical thoughts that frequently comes to your mind. I call them frequent flyer thoughts. And as I said earlier, when I identified, oh, where is my mom guilt coming from? The next thing I noticed was all the thoughts that came with that, right? All the critical thoughts I heard in my mind, and identifying the most frequent ones that would make me feel guilty. So one of them that I shared in my newsletter is, it's selfish of me to have this time for myself. And noticing that, oh my gosh, it's selfish of me to really take this time to really finish up this piece of work so that I can be present for my kids. Like that made me feel guilty to take that time, because the thought was making me feel like, oh my gosh, I'm being a selfish person. But what you can do in those moments when you recognize those frequent flyer thoughts is you have the awareness. I hear this thought. Now you can shift your mindset by choosing a supportive thought. So for instance, for me, this thought was, it's really selfish of me to have this time for myself, even if I'm doing work, that I can remind myself that giving myself this time to focus on this thing allows me to be fully present with my kids. This also happened when I tried and asked for time for myself from my spouse. Like I would feel bad because I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm asking him to watch the kids while I take care of my needs and go for a walk. But I noticed like that as a recurring thought that I needed to shift my mindset around, shift that thought into, no, this is giving myself time to recharge my battery so I can be a better spouse and mom. Everything's going to be better if I give myself this time. So the second step in how to kind of to release through your mom guilt is to identify your most frequent flyer critical thought that you hear when you feel the mom guilt, right? When you have awareness of that, you can take action. Now, the third thing that you can do to help you release from the mom guilt is to really align your time, energy, and action with your values. You need to first identify your values. Values are the things that matter to you most. I love doing values work, and I am a huge believer that when you identify your values and take the time to identify your values, and then you can live a values-informed life, which means that everything you do, how you utilize your time, what you spend your energy on, how you make decisions, and how you take actions is always in alignment to your values, which are what matters to you most. So knowing your values can help you release from the mom guilt in that you know that everything you're doing is in alignment with your values. So there is no place for guilt. because everything is in alignment with your values. Now, what happens is when you aren't living in alignment with your values, you're just going after the next thing, after the next thing, after the next thing. And it feels like you're all scattered all over the place. And you're like, wait, what is going on? And you feel like you're pulled in 1,000 different ways because we're not taking action. You're not making decisions. You're not utilizing time and energy that's in alignment with your values. So first thing is, identify your values. So if you are ready to recover your confident self and really break free from your mom guilt once and for all, then I invite you to book a sales call because I love doing this work with working moms where we can identify your values and transform your mindset so that mom guilt, say bye-bye, no longer in my life. So book a sales call with me. You can go to www.empoweredworkingmomrevolution.com/coaching. And so if you're ready, let's do this together. Let's break free from the mom guilt once and for all. I promise you, it is so liberating. Can't wait to meet you on a sales call with me. Bye. Once again, thanks for tuning in into the Empowered Working Mom Revolution podcast. If you found today's conversation super helpful in guiding you as a working mom, I'd love to invite you to share it with a fellow working mom friend, as we would love for this podcast to serve as many working moms. So thanks for sharing it with a working mom friend, and I'll see y'all next week on the podcast. Have a great rest of your day, week, weekend, and evening. Bye.